Coming up today on Retire Right with Clifton Ross. With so many options for saving and investing for retirement, it's no wonder that many of you are looking for a simple strategy. Is there one magic bullet to address all of your retirement concerns? That is our main topic today. You'll learn about the actionable steps you can take right now to help start making a difference for your financial future. Retire Right with Clifton Ross starts right now.
Retirement is more than a destination. It's a journey that starts with a dream, a vision for the way you want to live, recharge, and give back. To get there, you need a plan to reach your retirement goals. Clifton Ross with Guardian Resources has the strategies you need to plan for income, taxes, healthcare, and more. For years, Clifton has been helping families plan for a successful retirement. Welcome to Retire Right with Clifton Ross.
Clifton, as always, amazing to have you seated right here as we talk all things retirement.
Kelly, that's my favorite subject, so I'm glad to be here.
No surprise there. And so we've got a lot of your expertise that we want to pick through today. So we want to get to it. A lot of our viewers are looking for a way to help address their concerns about retirement, right? And there are a lot of different options, which is the good news for people to sort through.
Yes, it really is. And as a financial planner, you can imagine a lot of people ask me, what should I be doing with my money? And I understand because it can be confusing as a subject matter, it can be intimidating for some people. And we're just kind of looking for that magic bullet, like what should I do? And the reality, the real answer is that your money should be doing several different things at the same time. You should have some money that's in a position for growth because of the fact that we're living longer, we have inflation that we have to contend with, and so your money does have to grow. But you have to make sure that you don't lose too much money either, because you could lose money that solely that kind of negates the growth that you made before. And so you need safety. In some ways you need to protect some of that money. And then what is money for if it's not for income? To make sure that you have a sustainable income for the rest of your life. And so there's some of this money that's income focused. And then you have to have liquidity. If you have money but you can't get to it, that may actually cause more frustration than anything else. And so making sure that some of that money is liquid enough for you to use it when you need to use it. So, you know, the old saying is that you never put all of your eggs in one basket. And that's never more true than when you're talking about financial things.
Yeah, and you even mentioned magic bullet or silver bullet. Like I can imagine that is a big red flag if there's someone who says, I've got a one size fits all for everybody, right?
Oh, absolutely, because there's really nothing that is for everybody all by itself. Sometimes people say, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, money doesn't have characteristics, moral characteristics, right? It's either it's for you or it's not for you. And there's no one size fits all. It really is different things doing different things based on what your priorities are.
So let's get into what some of the simple ways could be out there to help us understand all of the different places that we can invest or save our money for retirement.
Well, Kelly, what might be surprising for some is that there's not really tons of options like we might think that there are. Because of the fact that conventionally speaking, there's really three fundamental worlds or universes for money. One of that is the banking world. And there's products in banking, right? We're familiar with checking and savings and maybe CDs, certificates of deposits, maybe money market accounts, right? All these are different banking products. And the banking provides for safety. The banking provides for liquidity. Maybe for cash flow, just for spending needs. Maybe an emergency fund, just to have a place for money to be safe and liquid if you need it for something that just comes up out of nowhere, which, you know, that can happen in life from time to time. Then you have the investment world, right? I mean, it's a large universe, but it's all investing. It's stocks and bonds and mutual funds, sometimes alternative investments people hear about. This is where you can buy trading cards or wine or paintings, Picasso paintings. And then, of course, crypto is kind of something that people are talking about a lot today. I would consider that kind of in the investment world today. It started off as just a form of currency, but now you can see Bitcoin and some of these other coins are increasing in value. So sometimes that's considered to be an investment. And then you have the insurance world, right? That's a whole different world of life insurance and health insurance and annuities, where people are looking for a tool that can provide some income. So it's a broad universe, but when you break it down, there's really three core I would say, worlds of money.
All right, well, let's visit these worlds,
All right,
shall
let's go
we?
there.
One
Jump in
at
your
a time.
spaceship and let's get there.
A spaceship, exactly. I don't know. I think I'd maybe like to take a plane, or if we could walk to these worlds, that'd be great.
Yeah, you know, a little more efficient.
But as we think about the banking world, that top one, right? I think a lot of people probably are very familiar with that. But let's dive a bit more into how the banking world fits into a retirement plan.
That's a very important question, because I think of the fact that because of the fact that the banking world is so familiar with us, right? We start off oftentimes in a checking account or a savings account. So it's just very, very comfortable. But it's possible, though, from an investment standpoint, long term, to actually have too much money in the banking world. I consider the banking world, you know, I have all these weird analogies, Kelly.
I love them. I'm here for
it. Tell my wife, she gets annoyed. But the banking world, I consider that kind of the gas station convenience store. It's a role that it plays. And convenience is something that you're there because of the fact that it's maybe the easiest thing to do, but maybe not the most cost-effective thing to do. And so the banking is fine for liquidity. It's fine for your cash flow. It's fine for your emergency fund. And you should try to get the highest yield possible. But even then, the yields tend to be less than maybe other vehicles because of the liquidity, because you can so freely and easily take money out. The yields seem to be pretty low. So one of the things that we come across sometimes is because of the comfort level that people have with banks, they have just way too much in the bank. And the analogy that I use, the convenience store, to help them to kind of put that in perspective, is that it's great to visit the convenience store when you're on a trip and you're out of town and you're going to go get some water because you're filling up. But you know you're kind of overpaying for that water, right? But you're just looking for the convenience. That's okay. That's the bank. But you would never grocery shop at the gas station convenience store, right? I mean, sometimes I do see carts in the gas station convenience store, and I'm thinking, who's got
Put
a cart?
that away.
Right? Like, that's not good for you, because you're probably overpaying. You're overusing that in a way that really wasn't designed to be used. So when you overbank, if you will, you're grocery shopping at the convenience store, and there's a more efficient way to do bigger things. How's that for an analogy?
I love that. I love it. It hits home on
Can
so
I give
many
you one
levels.
more?
Absolutely.
So when people ask me, you know, how much should I keep in the bank, right? That's the next natural question. Well, if I can do too much, then what's the appropriate amount? The one kind of guide that I've given people, I call it kind of your financial sleep number, is how much do you need to have liquid just to make sure that you sleep really good at night? And for some, they have a different number than another. So the question is for you, what is your sleep number when it comes to your financial standpoint? And if that's well beyond the sleep number of what helps you sleep well at night, that might just be way too much there in banking, and it might be time to look for another vehicle more appropriate for you.
Okay, well, we've got a lot more analogies because, again, I'm here for it and appreciate it. It does help put things into perspective. We're going to talk about the other two worlds coming up next and talk about ways that can help benefit your retirement. Later as well, Clifton is in the hot seat for Retirement Income IQ. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
In life, it's good to know what you have to work with. Knowing how many nails you have before building that birdhouse. Knowing how much sugar you have before starting to bake the cake. But do you know how much income you'll be able to count on in retirement? Retirement savings are one thing, but knowing how those savings can turn into income is another. Are you confident you know what your retirement income will look like? Call our team and get a free income analysis today. We can show you what you might expect for income in retirement. Find out now so you won't have to wonder later. Call for your free analysis today.
They say knowledge is power. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goals are, you'll probably never say you know too much. The same is true with retirement. The more you know, the more prepared you'll be for everything in store. And we've made it easy to get started. This free offer is packed with knowledge to help answer some of retirement's biggest questions. It's our gift to you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Act now and claim your free offer today.
Welcome back. I'm here with Clifton Ross, the founder of Guardian Resources, and today we are helping you have a better understanding of retirement when it comes to your savings. We're talking about three worlds of money. The first world we talked about is banking. So I do want to get in now to this second world of investment, right? And I think it's safe to say that there are many people who will have at least a part of their retirement in the stock market, right?
You're right, Kelly. That's very common. And oftentimes it starts with the 401k. That's oftentimes kind of the entry level to investing because people have automatic withdrawals from their paycheck and it goes in and you kind of forget about it. You kind of hope to, and you should just kind of let it go and forget about it and just let it grow. So that's kind of our introduction. And so it's a very effective vehicle for growing money for the long term because we're going to live long on average, right? Life expectancy has increased. And so it's important to get a really healthy return. And so the market provides that for us. But there's also a mix even inside the markets because you've got stocks or mutual funds or ETFs, kind of a type of mutual fund. And then you've got bonds. There's still some risk there, but just a little bit more stable because they're kind of driven relative to interest rates. And so the important thing is just making sure that you have the right combination of kind of these equity assets and these more secure assets, stocks and bonds.
And of course, it all comes down to having that conversation and trying to figure out what that right balance is for you.
Exactly.
Now, going back to our third world here, the insurance world, let's talk about the role that plays in retirement plans.
Well, the insurance world is probably one of the most misunderstood when it comes to long-term financial investing because we're familiar with insurance oftentimes through your auto insurance, right? Your property casualty, maybe life insurance. But insurance is also a financial vehicle where you can grow cash flow. A lot of life insurance policies have a cash value where you can actually grow cash inside the insurance policy. And if one were to pass away, it has a death benefit. But if one doesn't pass away, which is kind of what you hope not to do for at least a long time, there's a cash value that grows that can provide some income in the future. And there are annuities, which are an income type or an insurance type of product that has a potential for guaranteed income built in. So insurance is a little bit more complex and dynamic than I think sometimes we assume.
Now, if we decide to visit these worlds, you probably want to visit a little bit of all three, right? So I want to talk for a minute about why it's so important for today's retirees to understand these three worlds and how they work together.
That's a great question because I think to a certain extent, a lot of us have some elements of these or some of us have all of the elements of these. And the key word there is really diversification. That it's probably appropriate in many cases to have some of your dollars in each one of these different worlds. You'll have dollars in the bank where you're looking for liquidity, but the key there is making sure that you've got the highest yield that you can possibly get because you have inflation that is eroding spending power over time. And so you have to keep pace of that inflation, but at the same time you do need liquidity. So then that's what the market is for. Very effective at growing money in the long term. However, there's risk there, as we all know. There's ups and downs, and so it takes a significant amount of time to create a positive average. So you have to, or maybe it's not have to, but it might be appropriate to have some dollars there for the long term, but not overexposed to where now you compromise your security in retirement because of too much loss. And then you'll have some of the insurance where it might be necessary or helpful for one to have some guarantee of income because of the fact that in previous times, pensions were pretty popular.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, right? Have you seen a pension lately? Kind of hard to spot them. And so sometimes people use the insurance products and the annuities to kind of simulate what a pension used to do, provide a sense of guaranteed income. So having the spectrum of these and then having the right amount in each one of these categories is really the key for planning.
So I think this is probably the most important question. We've got the basis of understanding, but how do we now put this into action, right? And find the appropriate combination of tools and products for each individual.
Well, Kelly, I call this the fun part. Of course, I am a financial planner, so it might just be fun for me.
Cue the confetti.
I might be weird like this. But you know, these are just, once again, analogy, these are just ingredients, right? And by themselves, maybe they really aren't very, very beneficial for you. But when you start to mix these ingredients and put them together, you can come up with some really phenomenal things. And so that's where planning comes in, where you take these ingredients and know relative to the individual, because we have different interests, different goals, different priorities. What should be the mix for you? What should be the mix for your family? How should it fit into your retirement? And you start to put this together. And that's what we call a plan. And that's why it's fun for us. We love to be back in the kitchen at Guardian Resources, mixing up all these different souffles. How's that? Did I do okay
I
with
love
the souffle?
that. Yes. I'd love for you to cook that in real life as well, please.
No, only in the analogy, Kelly, not in real life.
So let's talk about
kitchen's
this plan, right? And
Yeah.
is it something that needs to be written? What goes into that actual plan?
Well, A plan should have a few components, and we call it kind of a structured plan. And I love the word that you said, written, because I think sometimes it's a feeling or it's kind of in our head, but it's a written plan. And the written plan is, how will my money take into account for inflation? It's a real thing. Of course, we had some hyperinflation recently, but on average, we can still plan on 3 to 4% that we're losing spending power. So how do we take into inflation into account? What about growth? How much growth do we need based on how long we expect retirement to be in the lifestyle that we want? And then very, very importantly, what about tax efficiency? That we can actually lose money to overpaying tax, right? We're going to pay tax, but you can overpay. And then what about healthcare? What about the unknowns, right? We're going through that even today in my life. My mom, sadly, was diagnosed with dementia. Now she's living at home with us today. We can take care of her to the best of our ability right now, but there's costs there, as you can imagine, that I didn't plan for her, and unfortunately she didn't plan for herself. So we have to absorb that. So what about healthcare? And then legacy planning. What about the long term? Where will these dollars end up in the long term? And so these are those key components that come together to make a plan.
I think especially in the case of your family, it's so clear the importance and the benefits of really working with a planner that can help navigate all of these areas for you as well. So truly a benefit there.
It really is, because a planner is going to really help bring all these things together, right? A planner is going to help really understand what your goals are specifically, what your concerns are, and then making sure that there's a strategy for accessing the dollars that are needed in a reliable way for however you want to live.
Yep. And your mom is certainly so lucky to have you. So thanks for sharing that.
Kelly.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate that.
Well, straight ahead, Clifton is in the hot seat for Retirement IQ. And later, what are some simple, actionable steps that you can take to help improve your financial future today? Clifton has your checklist challenge. Stay with us.
More is usually better, but not when it comes to taxes in retirement. Tax rates might seem high right now, but these could be the lowest rates you ever see again. Think how that could impact your retirement. The good news is there are strategies you can take advantage of now to help lower your tax bill later and help get the most out of what you've saved for retirement. But don't delay. Time is limited and rates could rise soon. So act now to get your free tax analysis. Help uncover hidden savings and optimize your income in retirement. Take action and claim your free tax analysis now.
Your dream car, the open road, and freedom. It's just one turn away. Or so you thought. Even when things look good, hidden problems can ruin your plans. Think of your retirement. At first glance, your investments might seem solid, but under the hood, what kind of risk are you exposed to? And what about taxes, income, healthcare costs? Don't let your retirement dreams stall out. Act now and get your free risk analysis to help keep you in the retirement fast lane.
They say knowledge is power. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goals are, you'll probably never say you know too much. The same is true with retirement. The more you know, the more prepared you'll be for everything in store. And we've made it easy to get started. This free offer is packed with knowledge to help answer some of retirement's biggest questions. It's our gift to you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Act now and claim your free offer today.
Welcome back. It is now time to put your knowledge to the test. And you've done great so far. So are you ready to see if this is the one?
Let's keep on going. Let's see if you can get me.
Okay, we've got 4 questions for you. And we've talked today about the 3 worlds of money, all the different places where you can save or invest your retirement savings. We're going to narrow our topic down just a little bit and focus on retirement income for our questions today in trivia. So maybe that gives you a little bit of a hint.
I hope to know it.
But I think these are pretty easy. Trivia question 1, what does COLA stand for?
Cola is a nice, refreshing soda.
I know, I'm thirsty now.
You shouldn't drink too much of.
What else is COLA in this instance?
In this context, it's the cost of living adjustment that we have to Social Security. You hope that will continue to happen with Social Security. But it is one of the things that people are concerned about now because, of course, Social Security Trust Fund says that they're insolvent and that they just don't have the funds that can cover all the cost up to, I think, 2023, 2025, or 2035 is where they're kind of insolvent. So something to just keep our eyes out on. If Congress doesn't act, we're going to see a significant change in Social Security.
And we know that the ages sometimes can change in which you can take Social Security. Taxes can change in retirement. So, of course, what may be true today may not be true tomorrow.
Very true.
Question 2. What does, oh, you got that right, by the way.
Thanks.
Question 2. What does RMD stand for? These are pretty easy.
Whoa, that's a tough one. Oh, it's so intimidating. Required minimum distribution.
Ding, ding.
Right? This is where we'll have to take withdrawals from our IRA, 401k, all this tax qualified money that you've been deferring. And this creates income in retirement. But there have been changes. Oftentimes people say RMD age is 70 and a half. Well, it was 70 and a half for a long time, kind of unchanged for about 30 years. But now it's based on your age. 73 or 75 are the ages relative to your birth date.
And it's not like, that happens, required minimum distributions, great, and we move on. Like, there's some planning that really should be happening with this.
Well, there's planning because that's new income, right?
Yeah.
And that income is based on, your age and the balance of the account. And sometimes we haven't really been tracking how much of this untaxed money have we been accumulating. And that's going to create an income. And what we see a lot of people, we call it our saver surprise, is the income they're required to take when you combine Social Security, pensions, other forms of income. Sometimes it puts them in a tax bracket pretty similar to maybe what the bracket that they were in when they were working. And so that's why you want to be proactive and plan ahead to minimize taxes.
A+ on that answer, if I do say so. You went above and beyond on that answer.
You're a strict teacher, so that says a lot.
Question 3, what does Roth stand for?
So Roth can stand for whatever you want it to stand for because it doesn't stand for anything. It's the last name of the congressperson or whatever the legislator was.
The senator,
The senator, thank you. Now you're showing off.
It's here on this card. The only way.
Well, give me the card. The senator that created that law, if you will.
Yes, and according to my card as well, it is the last name of the senator who pushed an increased access to IRAs.
What was his first name? Now we're even.
I'm going to go find that out. I'll let you know, maybe. All right, trivia question number 4. What does, is it QLAC?
Yes.
QLAC? What does QLAC stand for?
Qualified life annuity contract. It's an insurance product that provides for income in retirement. We talked earlier about how pensions are kind of a bygone era and they just aren't very popular today. And so people still do want guaranteed income. And one of the methods of doing that is utilizing an insurance product, an annuity, that can provide a guaranteed source of income so that no matter what happens to the markets, your income, once it's established, you don't ever have to worry about losing that income or that income decreasing. It can give some people confidence in retirement.
There you go. 4 for 4. I am going to put in a request to the producers that we make these a little bit harder. These are too easy for you.
I'm sweating over here. What are you talking about? Keep these tough ones coming.
Well, still to come, you will learn some of the simple steps that you can take today to help you improve your situation, because how useful is knowledge without action? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
More is usually better, but not when it comes to taxes and retirement. Tax rates might seem high right now, but these could be the lowest rates you ever see again. Think how that could impact your retirement. The good news is there are strategies you can take advantage of now to help lower your tax bill later and help get the most out of what you've saved for retirement. But don't delay. Time is limited and rates could rise soon. So act now to get your free tax analysis. Help uncover hidden savings and optimize your income in retirement. Take action and claim your free tax analysis now.
They say knowledge is power. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goals are, you'll probably never say you know too much. The same is true with retirement. The more you know, the more prepared you'll be for everything in store. And we've made it easy to get started. This free offer is packed with knowledge to help answer some of retirement's biggest questions. It's our gift to you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Act now and claim your free offer today.
In life, it's good to know what you have to work with. Knowing how many nails you have before building that birdhouse, knowing how much sugar you have before starting to bake the cake. But do you know how much income you'll be able to count on in retirement? Retirement savings are one thing, but knowing how those savings can turn into income is another. Are you confident you know what your retirement income will look like? Call our team and get a free income analysis today. We can show you what you might expect for income in retirement. Find out now so you won't have to wonder later. Call for your free analysis today.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Retire Right with Clifton Ross. And today we have talked about a lot of things when it comes to retirement and the three worlds, having a lot of fun as well at the same time. So we know the saying, knowledge is power, so let's put that to work.
Well, of course, I like to say knowledge is power, but especially when you take action. And so I always like to end the show with 3 action steps that one can take just if they're concerned about the 3 worlds of money and what they should be doing. So action step number 1, it's the banking piece, right? A lot of us have the bank and we should use the bank, but to what extent? So I would just ask yourself, what is your sleep number? What's the amount of that having in the bank liquid helps you sleep really good at night? And anything beyond that, we might need to now consider number 2, right? And that's what do we have in the market? And what's, I think, important for us to kind of evaluate in the retirement years is, remember that stock to bond ratio? What is that? In the working years, maybe it was 60-40 or even 80-20. But in the retirement years, you become more concerned about protecting your dollars, right? And preservation. So maybe revisiting that to see what the balance should be right now between stocks and bonds and adjusting that. And number 3, we talked about how oftentimes insurance is misunderstood. Do you have annuities? Do you have life insurance? Have you reviewed them to make sure that they're appropriate and current relative to your concerns now and in the future, now that we're looking at retirement or we're in retirement? So what your sleep numbers relates to what helps you sleep at night, maybe rebalancing that stock to bond ratio to be more appropriate for retirement years, and then double check to make sure those life insurance and annuities are still current and the beneficiaries are updated like we've talked about in a few episodes. Those are key pieces. And if any of this, if anyone feels stuck or overwhelmed or just wants a second opinion, they're welcome to reach out to my team at Guardian Resources, and we'll make sure that we give them the guidance that they're looking for.
And it's so understandable, right? You are not alone if you feel a little stuck or overwhelmed, because we've never retired before, right? Like many of us hopefully are going to do this only once and going through these uncharted territories, right?
That's the goal.
So to have someone there that can help guide and navigate, and I know when your team works with people, they'll just sit down and have a discussion, right? That first meeting?
Exactly right, because you don't know what you don't know. Like you said before, most people are retiring for the first time. Some do retire 2, 3, 4 times. But either way, when you are doing yours, you just have perspective from your view, whereas we have hundreds, maybe thousands of iterations. We've seen thousands of retirements. And so we can sometimes point out unintended consequences or maybe things that you want to know ahead of time before you make decisions that you kind of have to live with.
Yep, well said. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you can take what you learned and put it into action. And don't forget that Clifton and the team is here to help you keep your retirement plan balanced so you can feel confident to spend your time doing what you love with the people who matter most to you. For Clifton and the team at Guardian Resources, I'm Kelly Dame. Have a great week. Thanks so much for joining us.